Good afternoon.
Good.
All right.
You could get some guys back this week, including Michael Bennett. What would that mean for you guys this week?
Oh, it'll be huge. Not only Michael Bennett, but certainly looking at Earl Thomas, Deshaun Shedd, Mike Morgan. That's how we started the season. So it'll be good to get everybody back as a whole.
Having been without all those guys, Cam, for a while, how good is that for your depth long term that you've had to play with a lot of different guys out there?
It certainly is good. Again, it's the experience within itself is remarkable. You can only coach so much before those guys have to go out there and actually, again, get in the action. So hopefully fewer and far between that we have to deal with that. But fortunate enough, our guys have been prepared and have done a great job for us when called upon.
How did Earl kind of handle not being able to play last week? And I imagine he's kind of stamped up a bit to get back this week.
Yeah, he just sucked it up, just had to do what he got to do, and just prepare himself the best that he possibly could in regards to, again, being healthy and doing all his treatment and things of that nature. So, but he was supportive. Again, he was behind our guys 100%, just like we always expect him to be, and he did a great job of supporting us.
How different was that as a play caller, not having 29 back there?
No difference. I said when we put you out there on the field, we expect you to go out there and be able to execute. And again, that's our responsibility. We're not going to put you out there and then ask you to do something you're not capable of doing.
In that regard, most teams lose that many starters probably aren't going to give up 14 points. How do you think it went?
Yeah. Again, our guys played well, but like I said, the results weren't what we desired. But in regards to the certain individuals going out there and doing what was called upon them, they stepped up. Stephen Terrell is the first guy that comes to mind, and he did a phenomenal job going out there. And like I said, he's a guy who's always prepared. He's prepared to play multiple positions, and typically throughout the years, he's always done fantastic when we called upon him to go out there.
What was it about the first two drives of the Tampa Bay 3 that allowed them to move down the field line and have the success that they did around?
Oh, well, they out-executed us, and that's something to where it doesn't ever really make a difference beginning of the game, end of the game. If we're not out there handling our responsibility, then a majority of teams are going to be able to expose us. So it just comes down to us going out there and executing.
Pete was saying the one area where you guys still have some work to do is third down. What are you seeing there specifically other than just execution?
Well, that is what it is. It's execution, and it's stuff that we're prepared for, stuff that we continuously prepare for, and it just comes down to when it's time for us to stand up and get things done, we need to make sure we're up for the challenge.
When there have been gaps in the zone coverage, like I seen there were early in Tampa, is there a common thread to what's going wrong, or misreads, or what happens when there's open spaces that big?
It's called humanity. I said nobody's perfect, but what we've been able to do throughout the years is minimize those. So obviously, when it happens on a critical down, quote unquote, as third down, when you have these type of breakdowns and things like that, and they show up, it's like, oh, it's a catastrophe. Well, no, it's a football game. So again, imperfect game, imperfect people, imperfect coaches, and that's why we continue to work.
How did Jordan Tripp handle the start? What have you seen from him since he joined earlier this year?
Yeah, he did a great job. He's a real intelligent football player. He's got athletic ability. He can fly around, plays really good in space, and he tackles well. So, like I said, he's a guy who can play multiple positions. So you can put him at all three. You can put him at Will. You can put him at Mike. You can put him at Sam. So he's got some value there.
Carolina's a team you've obviously seen a lot lately. Just what do you see in that offense this year relative to past years?
They're still a good team. They still got really good players. They still got a really good quarterback. Obviously, again, we're well aware of what's been going on up front for them, but it doesn't change the fact that they can turn around, hand that ball to number 28, or number 1 can keep it for himself.
How unique is the way that he's used as a runner? There's a lot of quarterbacks who run, but probably none like him, right?
Yeah, it's his physical nature. You're talking about a big, massive running back, so he can throw the football, and before you know it, it turns into Wildcat. There he is, bam, he's keeping it, and they're going power and counters and sweeps and things like that. So, it's the extra running back that you really can't account for, but you better be prepared for.
Tony McDaniel seems like he's been a factor every week in the run game. Just what has he given you kind of unexpectedly joining the team so late?
Yeah, just big, massive body with strength. He gives unbelievable effort, and he's a veteran. He's a pure pro. and he does a really good job of just kind of understanding how teams want to attack us week in and week out, and that's his nature. And he loves getting in there and mixing it up and trying to knock people back. So,
how would you kind of evaluate the run defense right now? I think you guys have allowed over 100 yards the last several games, but the yards per carry is still pretty good. So
right.
How do you kind of evaluate the
Well, at any time that we're giving up 100 yards, it doesn't feel right. You know, we're not accustomed to it. And yes, the yards per carry are way down, but they're getting too many attempts is really what it comes down to. So we have to make sure that we're doing everything we can on the early downs, first and second down, again, being effective on third down. And if we can minimize the attempts, then obviously at the end of the game, the 100 yards won't be there.
Do you think teams are just trying to be really committed to that against you guys for some reason?
Yeah, sure, certainly. And just trying to maintain ball control. It's football 101. You know, I said the longer they can keep the ball and be methodical, obviously the better chance they have to be successful. So it's nothing new, and we just need to make sure that we go out there and get the ball. That's really what it comes down to. Can we go out there, create turnovers, and get the ball back for our offense?
Anything else? Thanks, Rich.
All right, thank you guys.